SARS Commissioner Edward Mkhwebane is gearing up for a battle royale with the public protector over the tax returns of former President Jacob Zuma. Mkhwebane has filed urgent papers asking the High Court in Pretoria to block a subpoena that forces SARS to hand over Zuma's tax information. SARS argues that tax legislation should protect confidential taxpayers' information and even from Chapter 9 institutions like the Public Protector's Office. Mkhwebane's subpoena arises from 2017 complaint laid by former DA leader Mkhwebane. Mkhwebane asked her to look into payments Zuma allegedly received from a security company during the first few months of his presidency. If undeclared, these payments could be a violation of the Code of Ethics for members of Parliament. The Public Protector's Office has confirmed being served with the papers. It's not yet clear when this case will be argued in court. Now, for more information on this story, I'm joined on the line now by our editorial contributor, Karen Morn from Cape Town. Karen, a very good morning to you. A really interesting case this is that will, I think, essentially set a precedent for SARS and the way that it reveals information to Chapter 9 institutions. What can you tell us?
I think you've just hit the nail on the head there, Mpho, about why this case is important. I think it goes beyond simply the issue of the information, tax information of former President Jacob Zuma, but the potential concerns that SARS may have about responding to subpoenas issued on it by the Public Protector's Office. It is arguing that tax officials should be exempt from the provisions of the Public Protector Act, which make it an offence for someone not to answer questions put to them by the Public Protector or to withhold information that she subpoenas from them in relation to investigations. They're saying that according to the provisions of the Tax Administration Act, which emphasize the confidentiality of taxpayer information, SARS should be exempted, or taxpayer information should be exempted from the subpoena powers of the Public Protector. Of course, we at this point are not aware of any previous subpoenas issued by the Public Protector's Office for taxpayer information, but I think Mkhwebane will very well argue that this kind of information is pivotal for her to determine, for instance, complaints against public officials like former President Jacob Zuma, who are accused of not declaring income or benefits that they received in the way that is appropriate for members of government to do, and this is simply pivotal to her being able to do her job, and that by limiting her powers in this regard, it's actually going to have a profound impact on her ability to do her job. Karen, we know at this stage that her office saying they have received the papers, but not at this point indicating what she will do about them.
I know also details are still a bit sketchy on when this case will be argued in court. But in terms of the order of events and the manner in which information is coming in, the processes that are being followed so far, when is the likelihood of this matter all playing out in court?
Mpho, there's two parts to this application. The first part is the urgent application by Edward Mkhwebane to stay the subpoena that was issued on his office, on him personally, by the Public Protector on the 21st of October this year. So he wants the court to urgently order that that subpoena is stayed until such time as SARS brings this far-reaching application in which it's essentially asking the court to exempt sort of tax information from the subpoena powers of the Public Protector. So we expect that urgent application to be heard this week. We know that the parties involved in this case must indicate today whether they intend to oppose it, and we expect that the full hearing is likely to take place in the Pretoria High Court as soon as Wednesday.
Thank you so much. Let's leave it there. Our editorial contributor, Karen Morn, just giving us a bit more detail on this battle royale with the Public Protector over tax returns regarding former President Jacob Zuma.